TDPK Podcasts, Thailand GameChanger, inside the minds of Thailand's innovators. Hi, my name is Michael Waits, and welcome back to Thailand GameChanger. Today, we are joined by Wimintra J. Raj, an entrepreneur in residence at WhatNot startup studio, and the founder of Hotel Intel. I love that name, by the way, .co. Gam, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for a long time, as you know. Can you give us a bit of your background just to get us started?
Wow. It's not going to be a little bit, but I'll try. I am now an entrepreneur in residence at WhatNot startup studio, leading a project, an exciting project for one of the real estate company in Thailand. We're doing house flipping for secondhand houses. It's a business that has never actually existed in Thailand. Like people in Thailand don't know what house flippers are. So we're trying to bring that to Thailand. I have always been an entrepreneur, and I've always, my own person, my own boss. But before this, I had my own company. I still have my company called hotelintel.co with publication for hoteliers and all things hotels. So that's what I do.
Does entrepreneurship run in your family? In other words, like when you finished schooling, did you just say to yourself, I'm not going to go get a job. I'm just going to be an entrepreneur because I just want to be how did that happen?
I actually did get a job. Believe it or not, I did have a job. I graduated, I got a job. I graduated political science from Kasetsat University. But then my first job was at the recruitment company as a researcher. But I've always been this kind of person that I always speak my mind. I've always do my own things and I have my own ways. And for some reason, it's just that working in an office just doesn't sit right. If that makes sense. It just doesn't. It's not my nature to. Yeah, but so that's what I thought. One day I need to be my own boss and run my own business. But then that's also changed today as I am actually getting paid. By a company. So that changes. But to answer your question, has it always been run in my family? I think it is because my mom is also the same. She's a very free spirit. But my dad has always been a salaryman, which there's nothing wrong with being a salaryman. But my mom is just different, and her family is also different. My grandfather is so he used to be a lawyer, and the whole family is a lawyer. So they're all different. But yeah, just my mom being a little different.
So I think about this a lot, right? You know that I worked at big companies, big finance companies, and I think it completely destroyed my soul. It took me about 10 years to become like the person I used to be before I started working there. And, my grandfather, for as long as I can remember, had his own business. Both of his sons, so my father and his brother, had their own businesses. And there was this itch inside me to do it. And it just took me a lot longer, I think, than it took most people to do. But I get this idea. And today I think I'm completely unhirable because I think like you, I just say what's in my head. I think about it first a little bit, but I just say what's in my head, and most people don't like that. Anyway, how would you categorize like your philosophy in life and in business, maybe?
Philosophy. I actually am. I am a Stoicism practitioner.
Okay.
And I also love Friedrich Nietzsche.
Tell me why.
I don't know. He was just advanced in his old like back then he was too advanced for the people. That his philosophy is just too modern for the people those days. But it's actually really resonated to me and in a modern day. Like you need to be who you are. Like you cannot not to be who you are. But this sounds cliche, right? You need to be who you are. How does that work? But like for me, you just need to do something that feel right to you. You have to live authentic life. Like that's why I don't have many friends. because I refuse to be nice to people that I don't like or I don't want to talk to, do business that I don't feel that is right or found interesting anymore. So my philosophy in life and in business is like, is this something that I would be proud of, or proud to be, or associate my brand with? Or if it's not, then I'll just not do it.
Right.
But I'll
I
just
mean,
not do it.
I think most people die with just like a really close knit group of friends. I think in life you're really lucky if you have like 4 or 5 people that you really consider friends, because those are the only people, if that. No, that's what I think. Because, like you said, if you don't want to put up with people that you don't like, there are just so
Yeah.
many people out there that kind of don't fit into your life philosophy. I'm curious as well. Like, I presume you weren't reading Nietzsche when you were like 7 years old.
No.
But do you feel like you were always that way and you read it and had this epiphany
I
and
have,
just thought,
you know what? It comes to my surprise is that I have always been that way. And then I just discovered like Nietzsche just a few years ago. And I was like, oh my God, this is
that dude
me.
knows me?
This guy is me, except that I don't plan to die when I'm 54 or 64, whenever he was dead.
Right.
But that guy was me.
Yeah. Did it surprise you though that there was an entire philosophy around GAM?
Yeah, I don't know. I think has always been like, I don't know, special in the way I think. So it's okay to like be like Friedrich Nietzsche.
I love it. I love it. Talk to me a little bit more about being an entrepreneur. And also being an EIR, because I don't know a lot of people that are entrepreneurs in residence. You mentioned it earlier, right? This thing with WhatNot Startup Studio. What does it really mean to be an EIR? I've never been one, and I don't know that many of them. What does it mean to
You know what? I've never I didn't even know this thing existed. Like, I was like, what is this one? So I'll just give you a backstory of how I apply for this position.
Please.
So like this year has been really, really bad for hospitality. Actually, since last year, like it's really like slow. And so I was kind of comfortable last year, like, okay, fine, I still have money, la la la. I bought a company last year because I thought it was a good idea. It was cheap, so I bought it. Don't buy it because it's cheap, people. So I bought it because it was cheap. I owned it for 7 months and I ran out of money.
What kind of company was it?
It was a publication. Because, I thought I would be like one of this, what do you call it? A media mafia. I will own everything in the media space for hotels. So I thought, okay, this opportunity came to me from a friend. And I thought, okay. And he was kind of like dying physically last year. So I thought, well, this sounds really bad, isn't it?
No.
Like he was dying. And then the opportunity came into a very sexy for me. I thought, okay, I'll buy it. And so I bought it. And I didn't do any, I didn't do a due diligence. I didn't plan. I didn't think of anything. It was just me wanted to become something big and have my name on, I don't know, billboard or whatever, have Fox TV or whatever. So I bought it for 7 months. So started under 7 months, I started to see my money going out, bleeding. So I made a decision. So we already paid half of it. So I went back and I told him, like, look, I'm sorry, I cannot purchase and I cannot pay for the rest. That's it. It was a really hard decision to make because one, he is a friend, and second, he's dying. But then at that point, I need to make a decision. And he also got upset. He was like, "Oh, you said you would buy the whole thing," but I said, "Look, there's nothing I can do at the moment. I don't have the money, and if I continue to push, because I have to pay like expenses every month. If I continue to do that, I will die. Like my company, Wimintra Company Limited, will die. So is my family and my baby." So I said, "Look, I've been paying the bills for your company for 7 months, and you can take the deposit. I'm not going to ask this back because that's fair, because that is fair." So I left, and that was a release. It was like, wow, that was the best thing I did. Like, just let go of something that is not mine. And then so this year things started to pick up in the beginning of the year, and then it started to drop again because of COVID. And
Right.
like I had like 1 or 2 months sitting at home, not doing anything. Like hotel interview was so slow. And I started to really ask myself, what am I? Who am I? I know this is sound crazy. Like what am I? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? Like, am I that good? What is my place in the world? I'm just gonna go eat at hotels and look fabulous, and then that's it. That's gonna be my life. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something bigger. I want something. I want to go places where I've never been before. Not as in like destination, because I've been pretty much everywhere, but
Right.
like in the corporate world, or become part of something bigger than myself and my brand. Like, okay, this is gonna sound a little arrogant, but if you go to the hotel and everyone would know Wimintra as a brand. It's a hotel,
Right.
like it's a brand for
For sure.
hotel.
Yep.
And walk in the hotel and everything is like handed to you. But is that because I earn it? Is it just the brand that it's just the way I look, the way I present myself? I don't know. So I feel like something is still empty inside. I don't know what it is. But so where was I? Oh, so I wanted to become with something big. And then I told my husband, I'm going to look for a job. And he was like, I was crazy. He said, look, you have a brand, you build this brand for 7-10 years. People know Wimintra. You could go anywhere in the world and they will treat you as a VIP. La, la, la. I'm like, I just don't care anymore. I just want to do something bigger, because like being a Wimintra brand doesn't mean anything. It doesn't bring me happiness and money, and it doesn't answer my needs anymore. So I started looking for a job like for a month, and then this EIR thing came up, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" So I read the JD, and it's like, okay, it sounded like a managing director, which is something that I already do with my company. Manage
Right.
people, tell them what to do the P&L strategy and things like that. So I apply, and they call me, and because people told me like, no, you're never gonna get a job at the age of 34.
Why?
I'm like, because you've never been working with like corporate before, and you've been your own boss for almost 10 years, so it's gonna be hard. But I guess WhatNot also took a leap of faith.
Did you know?
Because
Did you know
from
that? Sorry, did you
sorry.
know the team at WhatNot before you applied, like Matis, Justus, and Kaz?
No idea. Don't know who these people are. So like kind of
Okay.
Google them, stalk them a little bit. Like don't even care about them too much. Um, just want to work and learn something. And then when I talk to them, and like we the whole interview process has really got me thinking, and I really wanted this job. I had other opportunities in the hotel industry, to like a director of destinations and things like that. But I was like, if I still do the same thing, the
Right.
result will always be the same.
Yeah.
And I will never grow, and I will just be comfortable. I'll be the Wimintra that people talk about in the industry, and I will never know what's out there. So WhatNot agree to have me to run this startup project, which is fun. I think they, like I mentioned, they also took a leap of faith, because to actually hire someone who's never been working in the corporate environment, that would be a challenge for them. They didn't know if they can tell me what to do, or am I going to resist, or am I going to, be bossy? I mean, I don't know. Cass could tell you I'm still bossy, but yeah. But that's how it is, and
And how
I
long?
like it.
I was gonna say, how long have you been doing it?
3 months, coming 3 months.
Oh, okay. So not that long, which is great. You do enjoy
No,
doing this, though?
yeah, I do. Like someone asked me if I can like put and what is entrepreneur in resident. I would say it's
Yes.
like a hitman.
How?
Like you hire to do something, you hire to hit a target. You come with the equipment, sniper, whatever you have, and you just hit the target. And I like it. I like
I
that
love the
impact.
analogy.
Yeah.
I love the analogy. You're hired to do something. That thing is hard. Even if you're a
Yep.
sniper, just go and pull the trigger and get that stuff
Yep.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Get it
like it.
done.
I like it. And you think being an EIR is actually better than running your own business? I mean, I guess
Okay.
I'll tell you something. I saw a show on Broadway when I first started working at Morgan Stanley before you were born. Um, there was a show off Broadway called OPM. And I'm like, what
Mhm.
is this OPM thing? So we went down and saw with a bunch of the guys that I worked with at Morgan, and the show was actually about other people's money. So it was a show about Wall Street. And it was actually quite funny. But I think this idea of like investing with OPM, other people's money, is different than investing with your own money. Do you feel like being an EIR is like an OPM thing in a way?
Yeah, totally. It doesn't mean that you can actually go and waste other people's money.
No.
It's not that. But if you don't have to think about your personal needs, like you don't have to think about, oh shit, how am I going to pay rent this month? How am I going to pay for my car and my kids and things like that? It's like, I have money for work and I can get it done. I have resources. I'm equipped. Like if you're a hitman, you have the best gun, the best bullet, and it's like you equip. And I like that.
But it's really interesting, right? Because you've been your own sort of boss for years. And there's a trepidation, right? Or a little bit of fear saying, I mean, even you said your husband was like, you're crazy. But there's a balance between having more resources and putting yourself in an environment where you can get the things done that you want to get done without having to constantly be micromanaged, right? So it's, in a way, it's like the best of both worlds. Is that fair, you think? At least in your experience so far?
Yeah. And I don't feel like I've been, managed at all with WhatNot. I guess because it's like the guys are around my age and they kind of, I think I get along very well with them. And I would, it would be different with different people, I guess. But they're not,
For sure. So I've partnered with WhatNot on a couple of different things. I think Kaz and Justus and Matis are really great guys. And they're smart, obviously, but they also operate in good faith. And that's really important to me when I work with partners. You just have to be operating in good faith and know that, all of us are going to make mistakes at some level, but we're trying to get the same thing done, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you shouldn't be blamed for making a mistake. You should be blamed for operating not in bad faith, just going like, oh, never mind, I don't care. That's very different. And if you think about your own experience, not just at WhatNot, but like more in general, do you think there are mistakes that you've made? And when you look back, do you understand why?
I think a lot of my mistakes have been like digested for a long time. A lot of my mistakes are based on one reason, one belief, which is my own belief is I can do it and I can do anything.
Right.
But do you need to? I just need to. It's always like this. I can do it. I'll show you I can do it. And I can. And I know I can. Like you just give me tasks. If I want to do it, I can do it. And I'll do it better. But do I need to? Do I really need to? So that's come down to, if you sit down and then you think about it, why do I need this constant proof to people or to myself that I can do it? But I don't have to prove to anyone that I can do it. And if they don't believe that I can do it, it's not even my concern. But I have always been like that. Like, for example, buying a company last year, I don't have to, but because I can and I could. So I did. But where did it leave me? Like that's a lot of my mistakes are just like that. I just want to prove to people that I can do it. I'll do it. I'll show you I can do it. But it's not always a good thing.
Right. So I learned this same lesson a while ago as well. And it was in the same sort of situation. Somebody needed some investment money and I could do it. And I felt like there was some kind of question like, you can't afford this or you can't do this. And I was like, I can do it. And I did it.
So it's ego then?
It's not so much ego, but it's like people have expectations of you. And it was less ego and more like they were questioning whether it could be done or not. And I knew I could do it. So I did it. And I lost that money and I'll never do it again. But I learned a lot. And I'm curious. No, I learned a ton, right? And I've changed and evolved over time.
Yeah.
Through these errors and mistakes that I've made. Yeah. Some of them are based on hubris, some of them based on ego, some of them based on just not having enough information. I'm curious if you feel yourself changing and if you can actually sense it and how.
I've changed a lot. I think I think I don't have that need to prove. Oh, I still do. Like it deep down, I know that's me. That's who I am. And like being part of Übermensch, like Friedrich Nietzsche said. You know, you need to like embrace all of you. And I know I have it in me. I'm still competitive a little bit, but before it was just unreasonably competitive just because I could, so I would do it. But now I've changed. I'll see things like I see big picture, and I think I've become more mature, so I don't need to prove to anyone anymore. If they don't want me, if they don't want me to help or do anything with me, I'm completely okay with that. And yeah, I don't do things that just to make me feel. I don't do things that feed my ego anymore. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. In a way, right?
Yeah.
And I understand this feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong, but in a way, this idea of I have to prove to somebody else that I can do something may actually be, for me, grounded in I have to prove to myself that I can do that thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And do you know where that come from for you? Because I know where it come from for me.
Tell me.
So my mom and my dad are two different, like very different. One time I remember came home, and I got a second place in a science project, and then my mom was like, "Why didn't you get a first? Oh, by the way, on the way back, can you pick up a laundry?" And it just hang up on me. And that's it. That was it for her. And then my dad would be like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing. You could do anything. You could be the first female prime minister of Thailand," like things like that. So they're like polar opposite.
Right.
So I have this complex of not being good enough and then overconfidence. It's like, and
Yeah, and
actually
how do
you
you
can
balance?
see it in me. Like I look at myself and I'm like, shit, it's actually me. Sometimes I just don't think I'm good enough. But sometimes I think I'm like, what, Freddie Mercury or something.
Yeah.
So
It's really,
where is your complex come from?
where does my complex come from? So when, at least in my family, when you grow up as the oldest boy, the expectations on you are insane.
Right.
They're just insane. And, you know, nothing is ever good enough, no matter how good it is. And like you said, so, you know, there was this funny joke that used to get that used to get made amongst us. And it was like, what did you get on that test, whatever that test was?
Yeah.
And you'd say like a 97 out of 100. And the response would be, what happened to the other 3 points?
Yeah, that's my mom.
But I like the way you tell the story is actually really interesting, because your mother she wasn't like harping on you. She didn't say like, how come you didn't come in first?
No.
And keep going. She said, how come you didn't come in first, and please pick up some milk on the way home? So it was like, it was subtle but powerful.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
In a way, it made you think about it more, because you're thinking to yourself, what else is she thinking about me that's subtly there, but she doesn't say all the time, kind of thing, no?
Yeah, it's true. I guess, yeah. But she's like that, yeah. And my dad is just opposite.
Yeah. I have a daughter. I'm more like your dad. Do you feel like it's easier for you to identify things today where someone says, hey, can you do this? And you're like, I can definitely do it, but I'm not going to do it.
What do you mean?
Like, is this easier for you to identify situations where you're willing to say no?
Oh no, I say no plenty of time now. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, because when I was younger, just saying yes got me into a ton of trouble. Right? Because I was like, I could definitely do that.
Oh, you mean like if like your friends ask you to do, I don't know, crazy things, and would you say
no,
yes?
No. I mean work related things.
Work.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of things, what changed me is because my parents would never force me to be anyone else. And they would accept the whole like flaw of who I am. I don't know if I could share this story, but so when I was 17, I had a boyfriend, and 17 was pretty young. And yeah, we basically living next to my parents' apartment, because my mom and my dad said, look, if you're gonna have a boyfriend and you're gonna be like hanging out with him all the time, and I know if we stop you, you will not be stopped. So why don't you just, live next to us, and then we know what you're doing, and you can still go to school every day, and we can monitor you. and then you don't have to lie to us ever. And I've never lied to my parents ever, not once.
So this is such a great story, right? And I think that I want to get back to the entrepreneurial journey in a second, but I think it's important to understand this because I think it impacts the way you live, right? And that is, my daughter's never lied to me either. And part of the reason why is because I did the same thing. I always said to her, I am your like line of last defense. If you need help with anything, just come to me. No matter what it is, call me at 3:00 in the morning, which she did do, and I'll come pick you up without any questions asked. And the reason why I think that's important, and there's a confidence level that comes with that, right? Because what your parents are basically telling you is you're going to make mistakes. And I think it translates into work, right? But you're going to make mistakes. That's okay. But do it in an environment that is safe. So you understand like all these connections between like how you live and how you work and making mistakes, and that it's okay. So that even at work, if you make a mistake, you can talk to the people around there because they're your line of last defense, right? And that's an amazing way to grow up. Because if you have to grow up lying to your parents, then it just becomes habitual. And then you're always lying about something to somebody, whether you want to or not, right? And the fact that you feel like you don't have to do that is part of what it gives you the freedom to say the things you were talking about earlier, because it's okay. Yeah. So in your life as an entrepreneur now, as an adult, what role does your current like immediate family play?
With my family, as in like my parents and my husband and
No,
my
I mean
daughter.
like you have your own family as well, right?
Yeah.
So what role do they play, if any?
Now, let's get back to my parents. So my parents become my children now. So
Always.
the role reverse.
Always.
It's, oh my God, it's like dealing with teenagers. It's like killing me. Seriously, oh my God. Before COVID, my mom would be traveling everywhere, and then like she would come home at 4 a.m. Don't ask me where she's going. I'm like, oh my God. But anyways, but now she's living with us, helping with my daughter.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I think my family, like I don't know, my husband has been, a very solid support for me. He keep me grounded, I think. And like if there's one person that can embrace me like truly and wholly, apart from my mom, that would be him. Like sometimes he would ask me things like, "Oh, could you do this for me?" And I said, "No." And then he was like, "I would do that for you, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I know you would, but I won't do it for you because I don't want to." And then I would say to him, "Oh, would you want me to lie and said I would do it for you even though I don't want to?"
Right.
And then he was like, "I wouldn't have it any other way."
Right.
Like
it's nice to have a great support system. Yeah.
Yeah, he keep me grounded, and to keep up with all the needs, the wants, and the emotion. I think it's hard. But
do you think it's hard? Yeah. Do you think it's harder for female entrepreneurs to balance like home life and work life, or do you think it's?
I think you need to. I think you need to find a support, which could be your husband. And I'm very lucky that I have Stu, because he will support every decision. He believes in me more than sometimes I believe in myself. And sometimes he would like, even though when I come with a stupid idea, I want to do this, I want to buy this, like that company, I want to buy it. And even though he thought it was a bad idea, he wouldn't stop me because he could. But he let me make my own mistake, and then when something bad happened, we can control it. And he's always there to help if I need help. So I think I don't know if it's female or male entrepreneur, you need a support. You need emotion support. I think like someone who can come back to us and say, look, I made a mistake and we need to recover from this. What can we do? And I've seen a lot of my friends who make a decision in life by married someone that don't see their value. I think that's really important. You need to find someone that actually can embrace who you are and can support you and can actually match your ambitions. I think if you don't have that, then
Yeah, and in some cases, look, entrepreneurship puts a lot of stress on other relationships, right? But it sounds like you've been able to find a really good balance,
Yeah,
which is great, right? And it's a testament to your husband and the rest of your family that they are willing to support you and that they
yeah,
continue to support you, because that's great. Because
yeah.
otherwise, it just makes things much harder than they need to be. It's
Oh yeah,
already hard. Yeah.
yeah.
So before I let you go, what is the future? What do you think the future brings for you? You say you want to do big things. Give me something
I
big.
wanted to be big thing. Like when people ask me, "What is your dream? What is my dream? Or what is your dream?" I always ask them, "What? Why do you think I have one dream? I have many." And it's true. Like people think that you can only have one dream. That little house in, I don't know, in France. That's one of the dreams. That is not the only dream.
Exactly.
But I think my goal in life is to have freedom to, I want to be, even though in a beautiful chateau in France, but it doesn't mean anything if I don't get to create things or do things. I could still be in France, but not doing anything. That's not what I want. I want to be in the shadow in France and then do things and creating. I want to learn. There's so many things that I want to learn. I want to build a hotel. I want to have my own investment where I can invest in other people's future and people businesses. That's what I want to do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this idea of having more than one dream. It seems really restrictive, and I think most people's minds are just so closed, right? If someone says, "What's your dream?" and someone just says, "Oh, I want to be president," or something, like it's got to be bigger than that for me. And it
It
has
has
to be
to.
it has to be multi-threaded, right? Like,
What is your dream? What are your dreams?
so my dream is really, it's big actually. So I want to build the biggest integrated media company in Asia. I want to have global impact because I
You
want
want to
to
buy
tell
my
stories.
company?
No, I'm too busy building this thing. Um, but I want to have impact, and I want to have positive impact. I think media today has very negative impact on the world. I don't think the discourse is healthy, and I want to drag the discourse back into a healthy place.
Mm.
I can disagree with your viewpoint on something,
Yeah.
and that's okay. And you can disagree with me. I'm sure you and I would disagree on a ton of things. It doesn't invalidate what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And one of the things my grandfather said to me was, "It doesn't matter what you say; it matters how you say it." So there are
Mm.
ways to say things and get a message across and tell stories in a way that are informative and
Mm.
instructive. And my dream is just to continue to do that. But again, it's more than that. I also want to live in 3 places. I don't want to live in one place. I want to live in the south of France. I want to live in Japan, and I want to live in Thailand. And those things can go together. And I think if you focus on just one thing only, you leave out the balance that you were talking about before that you get from your family and the rest of your life. And I think that unbalanced people cannot create sustainable things.
Mm.
I just don't think it's possible. One last thing. When you look at your place as an entrepreneur on your own, as an entrepreneur in residence, and particularly as part of WhatNot startup studios, what do you think is going to change the game in Thailand to make
Or
it better for startups?
you talk about whatnot, right? Not ask up. It's
I
whatnot.
will. I will. And I did. I already asked Kaz. I'm
Yeah.
asking you. I'm just curious.
You know, you know what is whatnot's trying to do with, I actually love as a company culture is everyone is involved and everyone can express the opinion. And when you see, so when I first got in, and there's a lot of these Thai kids around the office, but they're so different because my perception of Thai kids are like they're very submissive, they don't talk about things, and they're not very innovative. But that's not true. That's
Right.
not what happened at whatnot at all. Like our intern, my intern runs my marketing campaign, and I wouldn't have known that if I didn't get into this place. So I think whatnot has it's a good place to work. It's a place where you can actually, if you can say, be yourself, which is very important, because if you don't, you cannot be yourself, you don't know who you are, again, you go nowhere in life. You need to find a place where they can embrace you and lift you. And I think that whatnot does. Another thing that whatnot's doing, and then I'm very excited about, is a startup school. Sorry, because
School. Yeah.
what I found is like little things people don't know. Like people don't know how to write an email, even though they have master degree in whatever.
In English.
Or in English, for example, like that, or the communication skill, or presentation skill,
Yep.
or being articulate. Like you can have a bachelor degree in philosophy and then you be stupid as rock.
Yeah, you can be very
But so
inarticulate.
that's what I think this is. And then another simple thing happened. Like I asked one of the team to do a flow chart, and they couldn't do it. Like they don't know the difference between the square and the triangle and the diamond. And I was like, but you have a degree, like you have business degree. How does that even work?
Right.
Like things like this, I think, like I'm excited about it. I hope it launches soon, and I want to be part of it. I want to see future of young Thai that can think 360 degree.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's awesome, and that's a great way to end.
And I try to put my stoicism in the course too.
In the course. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what questions they come up with. Like I said to you, I love that team. I work with them on some other things. So I think the stuff that they're going to develop should be awesome. I really want to thank you for coming and doing this today. Wimintra J. Raj, an entrepreneur in residence at WhatNot Startup Studio, the founder of hotelintel.co. And please thank your tech team that's looming around you for helping get the sound right today.
No, thank you for having me. It's been fun. I cannot believe it's like 36 minutes already.
Neither can I. Thank you again.
Thanks.
TDPK Podcasts, Thailand GameChanger. Inside the minds of Thailand's innovators.